So, Styx Master of Shadows is a stealth game that was highly recommended to me by some subscribers who said that they had some really fond memories of it, so I was super excited to play it. Right, so after playing it, I approached these subscribers on my Discord and asked each one of them what they really enjoyed about the game. And after some digging, I discovered they both hadn't played this game before, but had played the sequel and thought it was this one, and apparently that game is really fucking good. So, this game just didn't grab me at all, and I wanted to stop playing and cover the mythical sequel, and I nearly did so many times, but I thought this would be a great opportunity to explore the game design philosophy behind motivating a player to progress through a game, and how this game attempts and fails in those aspects. If you want to skip to a specific section of the video, there are time codes on screen now and also in the description. So, spoiler warning from this point onwards, guys. Alright, let's jump right into it. Our story begins with our protagonist, hero? It begins with Styx being captured and interrogated by humans. He then regales his captors on how he actually got there. Styx is here with an insatiable urge to steal the heart of the World Tree. The World Tree is a magical tree that secretes amber. Amber is the lifeblood of this world, and it's a bit like elf crack. Amber can give Styx the ability to read minds, but also make mindless clones of himself that he can control to do his bidding. It's some really good crack. So Styx needs some help that comes in the form of this blind fuck with the holes in his model, and he says that to travel through this land safely and to avoid the pesky guards, we have to take these secret tunnels to the sewers. So we spend about 5 hours sneaking about like the little rat we are, killing guards, stealing and manipulating our way closer to the heart of the tree. Then randomly, Styx mentions that he gets a feeling that he needs to break his friend out of prison.
What? In prison?
He doesn't know their name or why, but he knows that he has to do it. So he travels deep into a maximum security prison to free this mystery prisoner. The question I was asking myself is, who is this? Who could be inside this cell? Well, it's none other than Styx. What? Yeah, surprise dickhead, you've been playing a clone of Styx the entire game. What? And he's been manipulating you to try and do his dirty work and free himself from prison, and then he just stabs you and leaves you for dead. What? Well, the clone survives, and then you continue to play as the clone, now with a new goal, to stop Styx from getting the heart of the World Tree and to gain your own free will. Right, okay, so we attempt to kill him in his own hideout and he just shanks us again. What? Fuck. Well, luckily, we're saved by some elf that we've never met before who wants to help us stop Styx to keep the human and elvish relations tidy. With help from this elf, Clone Styx breaks the telepathic connection to original Styx and pursues him to the World Tree. A battle ensues between them, and then Clone Styx manages to get his hands on the heart of the tree, destroying it to stop original Styx. Clone Styx then commits seppuku and jumps into the amber pool beneath the tree. This doesn't kill him, however, but clones him repeatedly, giving birth to the goblin race. Together, they rip original Styx apart like a fucking pack of mincemeat, and then original Clone Styx survives and wanders off to create his own destiny. So, this game's story is
shit.
Yeah, there's nothing overtly wrong with it, it just didn't grab me at all. The story is just collect a thing and maybe make someone else have an accident, just on repeat. The only moment that did grab my attention was the prison clone twist, but that doesn't happen until 6 hours in. So at this point I was already checked out. Also, the way the motive of our main character switches at this point felt really jarring to me. Styx is a knobhead. He's been a knobhead since the first second of the game. He steals from his friends, he's dismissive of their requests, he kills guards en masse and enjoys it.
Yeah, boy.
And wants to get the heart of the tree for power. He acts like this for the first 6 hours of the game, and even though he is a knob, we come to relate to him and enjoy his attitude throughout the game. Then, after the prison twist, Clone Styx changes his motives to gain free will, which does make sense, but the original Styx motives and goals make him the new villain. What? For me, that doesn't make any sense. We've just spent 6 hours trying to relate to his goals and working towards them, and now we're expected to actively work against them. Don't get me wrong, this twist was the best part of the game's story for me, and on reflection you can see hints towards this in Styx's dialogue to himself, but taking away and changing the character's motives and trying to turn me against the character I just spent 6 hours trying to relate to just destroyed any scrap of interest I had in the story for me. And it's not just the story that had me checked out at this point of the game. So, as I mentioned in my Castlevania video, I'm actually a qualified game designer. Go watch that video for more information on that. But instead of just saying, oh, I really didn't like this game and it just didn't grab me, why don't we actually take a look at some of the game design techniques to hook the player and motivate them to keep playing, and why this game did it quite poorly. There are two main ways to motivate a player to progress and keep playing your game. There's intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation is the act of fueling the desire to progress the player's own skill level at the game. This is commonly seen in fighting games and MOBAs, as the reward for completing a match is the satisfaction of defeating your opponent via your own skill. Extrinsic motivation is when you receive things as a reward for completing a level.
things.
Each one of these motivation methods has its own advantages and disadvantages based on the player who's actually playing the game. It's all personal preference. No one system can make a game really exciting to play for everyone. Styx itself uses extrinsic motivation, as we are awarded a currency at the end of each level based on our performance and how many side missions you completed. In the tutorial, we're shown the different side objectives to complete. There are subcontracts to find an object or kill a specific target, and finally there are relics. These are hidden objects around the map that can only be found by looking at these drawings, and you have to scour the map to find that location. Relics are a really cool way to get you to observe your environment. This is really cool, and in the tutorial I did all of these, but once I got into the hideout, the game failed to convince me of the necessity of the rewards I was given. Your reward at the end of each level is a currency to upgrade Styx's abilities. Styx doesn't gain any new abilities, he just gains access to more of the same systems he's already been using, so more health pots, amber, and longer invisibility. So as I'm progressing, I'm not gaining any new tools to take down my enemies or explore the environment, so the added time and effort it takes to explore and take down subcontracts just feels meaningless. This is the reason why I and many other people felt demotivated to continue playing due to the lack of meaningful extrinsic rewards. This, along with the story and its twists, killed any motivation for me to keep playing. But the most disappointing thing of all is that this game actually has some incredible gameplay mechanics. As much as this game didn't grab me, I could really see the potential in this stealth system. At face value, this game's stealth just looks standard, but in reality it has an immense amount of depth. It doesn't really take full advantage of these systems, which just made me hungry for that mythically good sequel. Fuck, I'm coming for you. This game's main focus in stealth that sets it apart from other games is its attention to detail regarding sound and how the player has to play around it. Each sound Styx makes can and will alert guards to your presence, like slightly knocking over a chair while crawling under a table. That's guard alerted. This is fucking awesome, and as someone who trained to be a sound designer and composer for video games, this attention to sound being a game mechanic made me so happy.
Oh, it's my favorite.
So Styx has to carefully navigate his surroundings to minimise the sound he makes, killing guards in specific ways to minimise the sound they produce in their pathetic little death squeals. When jumping down from high vantage points, he has to try and land on soft surfaces like carpets to minimise the sound. And these awesome ideas expand into the rest of the stealth, like using level hazards to kill multiple enemies and having lots of different ways to explore, navigate and hide in each level. But opportunities to use these systems becomes few and far between the further you progress into the game. The excitement I just explained to you was what I felt during the tutorial when they introduce you to these systems. But as the game progresses, the options you have in exploration and how to handle each room of enemies gets narrower and narrower, which made it so much harder to avoid and deal with the absolutely batshit AI. So, to give you context, Styx is a little bitch, and I mean that literally. He's tiny. He can't hold up very well in a one-on-one fight, hence why we need to use stealth, but sometimes a straight fight is unavoidable. When caught in combat, Styx has to perform this parrying minigame. He can't attack or even block until he's in this minigame animation. That's very important. Each level is littered with guards, each coming in their own unique flavour, and by unique flavour I mean slight variation. We have a standard melee guards, archers,
Mega Ultra one-shot your ass archers, knights that will one-shot you if you're caught, inquisitors that will stun you and then one-shot you, monks that are blind that send you through sound and then that will one-shot you, big-ass orcs that will one-shot you, flame skulls that will...
So direct combat is basically a death sentence. This makes each enemy incredibly intimidating. Oh fuck, who am I kidding? You've seen the title of this section. The AI spends more time fighting itself than it does Styx. You can just run circles around the AI. Literally, there were times where I couldn't figure out the correct method to progress through a room, so I would just run. And as soon as I turned a corner, guards would just lose sight of me and give up. Sometimes guards would corner me in an alley while shooting at me, throwing daggers with nowhere for me to go, and they'd just give up. What the fuck? Sometimes if I was caught, I would just stand perfectly still, and the AI would just give up. Each encounter was a fucking coin toss between dick-stabbingly harsh AI that will kill you on sight, or a brain-dead guard that can't see you when you're literally standing right in fucking front of them. This, in conjunction with the harsh U-turn in the narrative and the mixed motivation issues, culminated in a supremely pathetic just meh. Leading me to wanting to play anything else, or the sequel where they actually take the good elements of this game and mutate it into an actual full game. So, after all this guys, what is my final verdict for Styx Master of Shadows overall? For me, it has to be a hate. I had zero motivation to keep playing this game, and I've never had a game make me more excited to play the sequel than this. Not to see a continuation of the story, but to see the developers expand on the potential of its mechanics. I really hope one day we can cover Styx Shards of Darkness in a future episode and see if it delivers on all the hype. I guess we'll find out. Thank you so much for watching, mate. It means the world to me. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, why not subscribe to not miss out on the next episode? If you want to see more of this game and hear all the little things I found out that I didn't have a chance to put in the script, you can check out my new series on Twitch called Cutting Room Floor. I stream every Tuesday at 7 PM GMT at twitch.tv/itsjermaine. I hope to see you there. Thank you so much for the support, mate. I'll see you in the next one.